What's up guys, Prince here. As you know, I used to be really excited about a OnePlus phone launch, but that excitement has slowly faded away, and that is mainly due to OnePlus's controversial decisions over the past year. Nonetheless, I went into reviewing the OnePlus 10 Pro with an open mind, and truth be told, it's a good phone, but one that feels intentionally half-baked to make way for a superior OnePlus 10 Ultra. But let's discuss that in this video. Now, one thing I do like about this phone is the design. It's certainly inspired from the S21 Ultra, and that's actually not a bad thing. Copying good features from other phones isn't that bad. The alert slider is super useful, buttons are clicky, and the matte side railing is a good touch. The phone also isn't too wide, which I prefer as well. Now you might be thinking all is well with the design and the build quality of this phone. Well, not really. For starters, there is no official IP rating for this phone in Canada. Even though I love the matte finish on the back, it just sparkles too much in direct sunlight, and I personally did not like it. The back glass is also Gorilla Glass 5 instead of the much stronger Gorilla Glass Victus that is on the front. And below that back panel is a 5000 mAh cell that powers this phone. Now this phone has lasted me all day every single day for the past couple of weeks with medium usage, and in my case that mostly consists of social media browsing, a few video calls, and a little bit of gaming. Now with heavy use, this phone might struggle to last me a full day, but I guess that's true about every other phone as well. But where this phone will never struggle is with the charging. At 65 watts, this phone can charge to full in around 35 minutes. For rest of the world, it's even faster because of the 80 watt support. Shame that Canada doesn't get it, but I'll take the 65 watt over the 20 that Apple offers any day. Another thing that I will take any day is you guys subscribing to this channel, so be sure to hit the subscribe button if you are enjoying this video. I will also take this beautiful AMOLED display on the front. It's one of the best in any smartphones. It's also plenty bright for those sunny Canadian days. It refreshes at certain numbers between 1Hz and 120Hz, and in my daily usage I never found any stuttering issues. Although I prefer a flat panel, the slight curve on the 10 Pro's display didn't bother me too much. There is the under display fingerprint scanner that's placed perfectly and works really well. It's just a gorgeous panel that checks all boxes for a flagship display. Suffice to say, the display is the only part about this phone that doesn't feel half-baked. Actually, so does the performance. It has the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chip, and it blazes through any app you throw at it. Now, I'm not a power user, so I never noticed any hiccups. OnePlus has also optimized the phone pretty well by taming the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chip. And if you do need any extra power, there is a performance mode that can be turned on. Now, one thing I really find strange is the fact that there is just the 128GB model available here in Canada and the States. Now, OnePlus has said that more storage variants will be available later, but no date has been set yet. Other than that, basic phone functions such as call quality, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth have been working perfectly fine for me. The speakers on this phone are also pretty good. Now, I also must give special shout out to the haptics of this phone. The sounds along with the haptic feedback make for a really pleasing experience from the moment you pick it up. Now, software is where things get a little weird. I had heard so much about Oxygen OS just being a rebranded version of Color OS. In fact, I started to hate OnePlus for it, even though I had never used a Chinese branded phone. And truth be told, I was so wrong to do that. Using Oxygen OS here on the OnePlus 10 Pro has been perfectly fine for me. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. Obviously, there are settings to make it feel like an Oppo phone, but I'm not sure why someone would want to do that. Additional features like the OnePlus Shelf, a customizable always-on display with canvas, using custom icons pack, and so much more make using this phone an enjoyable experience. But this phone is not about the design, or the software, or the battery, or the display. It is actually about this Hasselblad camera partnership. OnePlus has poured a lot of money into this partnership, and from the looks of it, it is actually going to waste. One thing I'm really glad about though is the fact that OnePlus has finally ditched the 2-megapixel monochrome sensor. Now, as I usually like to do, I like to show the same picture taken with all three lenses to see how well the company has calibrated the camera sensors. And while you take a look at these shots and decide for yourselves, let me give my honest thoughts on this camera setup. I think the cameras here are pretty good, but that's the case with most flagships these days. The ultrawide camera tends to favor a cooler tone than the main and the telephoto lens. Other than than that, shots taken with this phone are pretty damn good. They do look a little more processed or contrasty, which sometimes feels a bit too much, but that can obviously be improved over time with software updates. The front selfie camera is nothing exceptional as well. At few times the background feels washed out. Portrait shots are also really good. I am, however, a bit disappointed with the ultrawide and the telephoto lens. The ultrawide does have a fun 150-degree field of view, which does distort the edges, but that can actually be used in a fun, creative way. Although the missing autofocus and macro mode make it a downgrade from last year. Even the telephoto is the exact same as last year at 8 megapixels and 3.3 times optical zoom. Now all this leads me to believe that OnePlus is intentionally holding out camera upgrades for the OnePlus 10 Ultra, which is rumored to be released later this year. And don't even get me started on the video capabilities of this phone. First of all, the resolution and the frame rate are in separate menus. Then not all cameras can shoot in the same frame rate or the resolution. The front selfie camera only shoots in 1080p, and so does the telephoto lens. 4K 60 can only be shot on the main lens. OnePlus decided to include 8K video recording but didn't have the time to include 4K 60 on all cameras. What a shame. The only common resolution between these cameras is 1080p, and that's in 2022, in a world that's increasingly looking at shorter format content made on phones. Now that's a big letdown from OnePlus. Overall, the component that OnePlus should have really nailed on this phone is the biggest letdown about the OnePlus 10 Pro. Like I said earlier, this phone intentionally feels half-baked to make way for a superior OnePlus 10 Ultra. That phone, in my opinion, is going to have a Gorilla Glass Victus on the back, an official IP rating, faster charging, better cameras including a periscope lens, and Oxygen OS 13 that's far away from Color OS. OnePlus should have just released this phone as the OnePlus 10 and removed the Pro tag altogether. The only saving grace for this phone is the price tag. At $899 or 1150 Canadian, it's a solid phone for what it offers. But I still can't recommend it to people here in Canada because it's not offered with any carriers and it shares the same price tag with the Pixel 6 Pro, which arguably has better cameras. Well, that's it for this video guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next one.